The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Bueller. Yeah, I guess I'm started. Welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So, well, we're at 2907, 2908 on the S&P cash, up 195 on the Dow, NASDAQ's up 73. And, of course, the first thing we want to see out here is if the volume's picked up on these highs, about 3.8 billion shares. So the volume's better, but is it anywhere close to the 12 billion shares we had back in February? And the answer is no. So we continue to go over these highs on light volume. If we go sideways long enough, we can burn that out and just kind of chew through the top, but certainly not enough volume to blow through highs. We've had our pullback, and of course, I think the administration decided to get a little bit pregnant. And by a little bit pregnant, I meant that they're going to incrementally turn the heat up on China. A lot of people were afraid that they were going to drop the safe or the piano. Do they actually allow to drop pianos on people anymore in New York in those high rises? That seemed to be the old chestnut from all those movies. Anyway, just 10%, which is, a lot of people had that priced in. They didn't know just how big it would go. And, of course, it will go to the max after the end of the elections, which is January 1st. Brings on a new year and a huge amount of tariffs. For the Chinese, it's a lot tougher. Of course, we've got probably the closest thing to a dictator that China's had since it decided to go all commie. And the question is, how long are they going to allow him to sit there and let the momentum of the Chinese economy pull back? As I said before, I've read some studies, and they show for every 5 million people that are out of work in the United States because of a trade war, it would be something like 100 or 125 million in China. There's a huge asymmetry to who gets hurt in the trade war. Some people have brought this up. Some people purposely ignore it, mostly because it's a political football. But I think it's just a matter of time. Could we have a little slowdown here in the States? Yeah, but man, is that trade deficit a monster. And we're going to have to get after it one at a time. My belief is that why Apple's been quiet, the idea is eventually to bring manufacturing, at least if not into Texas, into Mexico, and offer new jobs so that they don't have to cross the border. There's a few other things going on like that, but it's kind of hard to go after somebody that's actually talking up the country. A lot of people say it's the wrong move. You can make that. It's just one of those arguments, it's just hard to win. Let me put it that way. You can give me a call today at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. But after they open, kind of a quiet day, I'm going to say. There hasn't been a lot. We'll go to the earnings, which are mostly poor. They weren't well received. They've gotten a little better throughout the day, but we'll still look at some of them. General Mills off almost 8%, AutoZone down 2%, although it was off, I think, 4% or 5% earlier in the day. Oracle actually back to the highs on buybacks. Safra Catz, the name I just love to say because it could be one word or two words. Safra Catz could be somebody's last name. Safra Catz could be two names, a first and a last. But just rolls off the tongue. Not many names are almost musical. That one is Safra Catz. FedEx down almost 5%. Athena almost 5% lower. So that's kind of it. We're selling the same kind of thing. And, of course, the one that I'm really paying the most attention to out here today is Apple. Apple's trading at $219. It's up 0.5%. Again, this is the company with a target on its back. I suspect, well, let me put it this way. I'm pretty sure that the narrative on why Apple is lower is wrong. Not exactly sure why that narrative is being pushed. Mine is fairly clear. That is that there is a new cell system coming up called 5G. Very soon we're going to start seeing a lot more ads. In fact, I saw the first one from Verizon today that I've seen. Maybe there are others. Talking about new technologies. In fact, they had a lot of the original engineers riding around in kind of like a Dodge van from the 70s when they were starting this thing, talking on the big monster phones from the period. I don't know if it was real or if it was made to look real from that period. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, back to the Apple discussion. My thesis is fairly clear. I think a lot of people are going to wait for the next iPhone to get 5G, and it's not that different from Samsung. I think overall we can look for weaker moves in the cell business. There's going to be that pullback, and then there's going to be the huge ramp into those phones shipping next year. My guess is it's probably going to come right after the first of the year. It's going to be the time to be long Apple and some of these other manufacturers, and more likely to be long the people that are supplying the parts and components that go in it. I'd much rather be in them than Apple. Sales are down. Some of the surveys for people that own iPhones already, talking about upgrading, have shown a fairly decreased level of enthusiasm. So we'll look at that. When we come back, a little bit of news, history, actually, and
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. TFNN has just launched a Tiger Dollar sale for one weekend only. Through Tuesday, September 18th, you can get up to a 50% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars never expire and can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service. TFNN has a new website launching in the coming weeks, and to celebrate, we're having a Tiger Dollar sale. For all the details and to get up to a 50% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Tuesday. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Up nearly 20 points on the S&P cash.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1975, after crisscrossing country with her captors or conspirators, depending on who you believe, for more than a year, Patty Hearst, or Tanya as she called herself, was captured in San Francisco in an apartment and arrested for armed robbery. Of course, February 4th of 1974, she was kidnapped by 2 black men and a white woman, all 3 who were armed. There were some shots fired. Very opaque as to what actually happened from then until the time she was captured. Of course, she's the granddaughter of Randolph Hearst, the giant publishing magnate, who, was kind of like some of the guys around today. They really believe they can get away with just about anything. He actually did. He was trying to kill, God, what was the name of that guy? They called him the Little Tramp. Maybe somebody in the den can say it in the silent movies. What was his name? Look, had the little Hitler mustache in the 10s and 20s. I'm sure someone will bring it up in a second. I just can't think of it right now. Anyway, he was trying to kill the silent movie star, Charlie. Yeah, that's it, Charlie Chaplin. And ended up shooting another guy in the head. A lot of people will deny this and say that it's speculation. But one of the other people on the boat was a guy named Orson Welles. Orson Welles ended up living on the estate of a big movie director, the guy that did, what was it? Not East Texas. I'll think of his name. Did a bunch of movies in the 70s. Was pretty famous for him. He was the psychologist. Played the psychologist in the series. What was it? Well, I'm just having mental blanks again today. I'll think of him in a minute, too. Anyway, Orson Welles lived with this movie director, and I heard a fairly long hour-and-a-half interview with him. He spoke a lot about Orson Welles, and Orson Welles told him everything that happened that day. He just said that it needed to go to him with his grave, but he could speak about it as soon as he died. But apparently, a lot of drinking going on, other stuff happening. But Hearst was happy because the guy he accidentally shot in the head owned a bunch of movie studio land that he wanted and ended up buying it anyway. We wouldn't know very much about it except all the servants, of course, being around San Francisco, were Chinese, and they went out and instantly blabbed about it all at the time. But Hearst, pretty much had everybody in his pocket, especially in San Francisco, and he was never charged. So can you get away with murder? Yeah, you can in the right conditions. I think people are getting away with murder today, but apparently no one listens to me. Okay, let's go ahead along with some other stuff. What was the name of that movie? And now it's going to bug me. I'll think about it during the break. It's always one of those things. So, yeah, greatest movie of all time, I thought. Rosebud. Oh, we wanted to go to some of the stocks that had earnings here first, and we'll get into some other. We're going to have a kind of a sprinkling, a dusting of earnings over the next week. It really is going to be late October, before we get back into a big earnings seasons again. That this seems like once it starts, it takes 2 months to stop. General Mills came out with some fairly bad news. Huge volume, blowing through at least the previous low of August 10th, which sets up the next low at $42.65 from July 24th. I think it can get back all the way to $40.52. That's the May 3rd low. Just looks like it needs to retest that high volume low that's never really been tested. And a pretty good setup here in that it went back and filled almost all of this gap down on high volume going back to March 21st. So that was it. Okay, a couple more. AutoZone was down a great deal more, especially before the open, printing 729, and again through a couple of gaps. Just missed. I don't think that there's anything more to say about it than that. This thing's in a big trading range from just below $600 up to this almost $800 range. So, man, if you can get this one right, I think it's fine. You're looking probably for a short somewhere around the $760 range if you could get it. I'm not a big fan of, if you were short up there at the highs and you held through earnings, good. I didn't see anything that plain, but certainly we know it now. The big turnaround was Oracle. LE said. This is printing up about 0.25% after being down to $43 after hours last night. The big turnaround after the open, they started saying that we're going to be buying with both hands over fists as we go forward. That pretty much put the kibosh on the downside for Oracle, but a fairly solid miss. They can probably keep this up for a while with share buybacks. They've got a lot of cash around the world, but still don't have a compelling story for cloud systems. They're getting better, but still being swamped by the likes of Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and others. But if it wasn't for that buyback, it'd be looking fairly bad. Another one that is lower off of earnings, traded around about 250 after earnings last night. It just got worse in the earnings call last night. Opened down below around 249, which is what it was about 5 o'clock last night, and continue to sell off right now. Federal Express 243.36. So I don't know if you can say a lot more about it. There's nobody really up on earnings out of the 5 or 6 out here that we've gone, and that may tell you more than anything. Certainly, the energy on the way up on FedEx was incredibly lacking. If you look at the June 12th high to the June 28th low, I had a 3.6 on my power law vector indicator. We've got a 2.1 on all the way from that 222 low of June 28th up to yesterday's high. You just never had any energy really come in until this thing fell off the cliff here last night. When we come back, we'll look at Athena Health. We'll look at a couple of other earnings coming up this week. Earnings are options expiration on Friday, so we may have a little bit more action tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on all this stuff. Back in a second.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I couldn't think of it. It was the Last Picture Show, was the big movie he made a bunch of other ones, but Peter Bogdanovich, he was also the psychologist in the, man, why can't I think of the other one? It was the HBO show about the mobster. It's one thing at a time. I just have to remember one. I just have to remember one thing at a time. Anyway, Orson Welles lived from time to time, generally a year or longer when he wasn't on a project, behind Peter Bogdanovich's house. And anyway, there's some great interviews But the one I heard was with a comedian on a podcast. It was very interesting to hear all those discussions about what went on that boat that day. Yeah, yeah. One of the better movies. Kind of really was a break. The Great Picture Show was a break from the kind of movies that were made before and after that. A lot of input by Orson Welles in that movie, The Great Picture Show, too. Okay, we want to look at Athena Health, THN. Down fairly hard. And I mean, all these stocks, you can just imagine if the stock market was down, how much worse these things would be. Athena Health came back and pretty much filled the gap up from May 4th. That gap up came with about 4.4 million shares. We're probably going to get close to that. We've got about 3 million shares right now. So, I mean, some of these things are looking fairly weak. Take a quick look at Apple as we talk about that. You get a little hammer out here today, but not a lot of volume when most of the stocks are pushing back higher. Looks like it's now, what do we have here for the last quote on Apple? To 219. Tried to get into the 220s. A lot of people are continuing to move out of it, and that is the problem since it's 12% of the NASDAQ. If this thing was up with the rest of them, we'd probably be up more like 150 points on the NASDAQ instead of 78, which is actually fairly good. Dow's up 234. When we look at some of the other ones, like the Russell, it's up 10. So that's up, what, 0.6%. So kind of the weakest of the bunch at the moment. Crude oil up 1%. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other ones. I wanted to see how a great deal of these stocks that were testing highs were doing today. Caterpillar was one of the most interesting ones to me coming into today. It's going through this 146.70 high of July 30th. You had 14 million shares there on that day. Yesterday, 3.8. Now 3.7, 3.8 million shares, or excuse me, 2.8 million shares today. So you're coming into fairly decent supply line with almost no juice, at least if you compare it to the July 30th high, or if you compare it with the down days of, what is that, June 14th, June 15th at 8.8 million shares, which is what we're starting to get into. 3.6 million shares on the 18th of June, and almost 7 million shares on the 19th of June. So we've come back into that area. You really haven't gotten any big movements out here. Certainly a little lighter on the move back up off this August 15th high, too, if you compare it from the 146.70 high of June 30th back up to this level. So like a lot of these stocks that we're going to look at today, testing highs with lighter volume, testing lows with lighter volume. There is kind of a method to my madness today. I'd like to see these stocks that are testing lows start to rally today. They really aren't because most of these things are on lighter volume. Doesn't look bad, though. One of these stocks is Blue Apron. I don't know if someone's going to come buy them out, but volume is certainly decreasing. You had the huge monster down day at 182. That was August 2nd with 14 million shares. Today we got about 1.3 million shares. So getting into the point where if you wanted to buy penny stock for a lottery ticket, starting to look fairly decent. I'd like to see at least some kind of proof of life. Maybe the CEO can hold up a newspaper, take a picture next to it, let us know. But no real signal yet that that's done. Some of the other stocks at highs that are very interesting to me. Actuant, this is ATU, had 2 million shares back on June 22nd at $30.05. We went to $30.19 today on 183,000 shares. So again, a lot of these stocks just very light. Avalara, we've talked about this one since it was an IPO. I'm going to have to let this thing sit for a while. It's just making a big triangle. but it's coming back into these gap downs that happened days after its IPO. No volume in that either. Boston Scientific, another stock testing its highs. 34 million shares back on June 11th at $37.30. Hey, what do we have today? Yeah, 3.5 million shares. So again, there's some fairly big inflection points, not doing much. Avalar lockup period. Good question. I think it's December. NASDAQ AVLR. Okay. 12/12. I thought it was December. 12/12 of this year. So you got a few more months to go. That's it. Also had a question yesterday, made a comment in the den. Someone was talking about some of these Wild West stocks on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Last picture show, yeah, East Texas. It was West Texas in the 50s, though. So, Dan Matthews, thank you. What else do we have? Citizen Kane from Pat. Yep, that was the movie that Orson Welles did, but not Peter Bogdanovich. Okay. We got a few more. Is that? Oh, we got a few more to go here. Cabot Oil and Gas. A lot of these energy stocks been thinking that maybe these things make some kind of decent low. You at least have fairly light volume, but the energy was too much coming down for Cabot Oil and Gas, the COG. But 21 bucks, that could end up being support if it goes sideways a lot. Diplomat Pharmacy, DPLO, this one's bouncing along the bottom. Actually had some fairly decent tests. You had 2.4 million shares on May 8th at 1863. You went below that, you've closed back into the trading range. Energy was a little less than the move down, so that is also a candidate for going long. Etsy, we talked about this one going above its August 7th high, $50.60, got to 53.24. It's pulled back into this trading range, but you know, you had 25% of the volume of these highs. So whether it's highs or lows, we're not getting any real clear signals. And earnings are getting the A bar. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. 9190.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're going to go to Marie in Pennsylvania. How are you doing today, Marie?
Oh, I'm doing terrific. I'm not real familiar with what this company does, but I had noticed it had broken out almost a year ago, and now it's come all the way back. And I was just curious your thoughts on it.
Did you see it in my newsletter this morning?
No.
Okay. I mean, this is, if we just want to look at the chart of this looks absolutely fantastic.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I don't trust myself.
Well, I don't trust myself either with this one. And here's what's going on. This company, when it went up to $33.10 on December 28th, did so because of patents being awarded and, of course, an FCC certification on what they do, which is wireless electricity.
Oh, that's right. Yep, I remember now. Yep.
Now, the problem is no one's seen this thing work. They won't show it to anybody.
Right. And you talked about that.
I did. And the problem is I'd be, even if I had, a good look, I was looking at whether or not I could buy the options on this because I certainly wouldn't want it. This thing is either worth $250 or it's worth zero.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot of difference in it, and I think if it was for $250, it probably wouldn't be at $10 today.
No.
So that's the problem. This is either these guys. There's an old saying. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Asimov, who said that any significantly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Right.
Well,
yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's what these guys say they got. They have somehow defeated all the laws of physics and thermodynamics. And the problem is, or at least in my experience, the huge claims need a huge backing, and these guys have literally shown nobody nothing. And I've seen a handful of frauds around this kind of wireless electrical fraud. Now, there are some people out with similar technology for like charging your smartphone.
Your cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Now, those you have to literally lay within, a quarter inch of the coil to do it. These literally you walk around, and the one that I've seen that actually works has an infrared LED laser that actually shoots right at the device itself. So it has to have line of sight. So things can slowly be charged. Well, let's say you had like a little robot that wandered around the warehouse and picked things up. It could, just sitting there to wherever it last stopped, be slowly charged by something like this. They show their big deal is a little electric train that kind of goes around the tracks, and all the power comes from this thing that looks a little bit bigger than a smoke detector on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always being aimed like it's a remote control camera in Las Vegas over something, right? It always has to move around, so it's always tracking your phone or whatever's moving and moving that LED laser out there. You're working with power that could actually blind you, so that's kind of a non-starter for me on that kind of technology. These guys say that they're doing it through Wi-Fi signals, and why it is technically possible to do it, no one's done it yet. So again, extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof, and we got absolutely nothing on this. So crapshoot.
Yeah.
It's either worth a whole lot or it's worth nothing. And my guess is if they really had something, they'd probably have shown it. I don't know how long I could, if I had anything like this, how long I could not show it, right? If it was actually working. And that is the problem. And every time this thing is massively shorted, so it's not like I'd be wanting to go out and short this thing. Let me pull up the data on it, because I know I've got it here somewhere. Now, I had this in the newsletter just as an example of watching these things. Well, the last 3 days, at least on the dailies, we're over 20% short. So 1 out of every 5 transactions is somebody shorting the stock. Now, that doesn't mean they went home with that at the end of the day. But if you look at the bi-monthlies, this has 13 days to cover. So this could be a total fraud and do, like, are you familiar with when Grise went from $4 to $100 last year? This could do that. And that's why I would love to try to get in on this, not because it's that, but you have to know that the thing could go to zero tomorrow.
Yeah.
If it's a fraud. So to me, the move would be to buy a call on this and hope that you hit the lottery. I don't know how much the calls are, but it would take 13 days of the volume you had, the average volume in the last 13 days for all the shorts to get out of it. There is, what is that? Is that right? 5.2 million shares short on this. And the overall short is almost, it's 28%. So monster short sales potential on this. If they have anything that is true, I mean, if this thing gaps up $1, I'd be in it in a heartbeat.
Well, it's up 92 cents today, and I was.
This is in the gap,
found that
though.
Surprising. I thought, it didn't completely close the gap as far as I knew.
No.
So do you think that's short covering?
No.
No.
No. People shorted this thing back up at $32.
Oh,
so,
sure.
So
but if you've made that much money, eventually you're going to buy it back and get out.
Or hope it goes to zero.
Yeah,
if you're committed, and you know you're a big guy on Wall Street, and you paid somebody that works in the warehouse of this thing, or you know somebody that knows somebody, and they go, yeah, there's absolutely nothing to this company. It's a giant fraud. Then you just sit on it till it goes to zero. That's the way the big guys play it. Now, us peons, we can't live through that kind of pain over time, because I'm sure a lot of them went to that pain when this thing went up to $33. And in some ways, it's not much different than Tesla. Tesla ran their stock back up on a bogus story of them going private again, which would have never happened. Everybody knows it's a lie. Now Tesla's in problems today with it. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I don't know. Hang on just a second. I'm kind of trying to talk my way through this one myself, because this is, like I said, either a $250 stock or zero. We'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. We're talking with Marie from Pennsylvania about Ingenious Corporation. Symbol on it is WATT, W-A-T-T. This is a stock that basically they're promising the moon, but have shown nothing. So it's either worth an absolute, if it does what they say it does, absolutely worth $250. If it doesn't do what they say, it's worth $0. It's been able to be manipulated by news events like FCC certification, which does not mean it works. It just means that it doesn't interfere with other products. And some people have kind of made that into an endorsement of the FCC that it works, which is not true. Do you have any other questions, Marie, on this?
No, actually, you've covered it pretty well. I was wondering if we could talk about somebody else.
Go ahead.
Triple D.
Yep.
Is this move look real? You know, does this...
Yeah, I wanted to buy it, but it was going right into earnings when it took off. We bought this thing back at $9, or I think I bought it at $9.10, and it went to $13 almost instantly. Yeah. And then never was able to get back into it. It looked horrible going into earnings and then took off. There is a fairly decent discussion on why 3D Systems is doing this. I think the move's real. I need to wait for it to come back to about $16 though. So
I see. Okay.
yes, is the answer yes? But this is a stock that I was shorting at $97.
Yeah.
And you know, 2 or 3 years ago or 4 years ago, we were going along at $20 on it up to that when it was going higher. So a lot of movement in this, a lot of overhead resistance, a lot of action. But being able to make things in metal has changed everything for this company and SSYS both. So maybe we'll talk more about this in a show later. Give me a call back. Thanks, Maria, for the phone call.
Thank you.
In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.